Hello, listeners. I am Jean Kelly, the host of Read, Pray, Write podcast, and I'm taping today at the Wild Goose Festival in Harmony, North Carolina, which I love that name for what this is. And I'm alongside Derrick Weston, who, along with his co-author Anna Woofenden, wrote The Just Kitchen. He's also has several podcasts. Actually, been doing podcasting for very, very long, apparently. I wanted you to talk about how you find space to go deeper in your life, and maybe how the kitchen is that space.
Cooking can be very mechanical because one of the ways that we think about cooking is one of the ways we think about food is it's fuel, and like we're machines that need to be plugged in or repowered. And one of the ways that I have found space is to really make my kitchen a space where I want to be. And like sometimes that includes like bringing music in to my cooking. And it's one of the things that I kind of wish I would have written a little bit more about, but we were getting close to deadline.
That's book two.
That's book two. But being able to create the environment in which you want to be in a space, and I think so often we try to force a space to be something that it's not. We try to force a room to be productive when it's actually chaotic. We try to force a space to be like tranquil when it's actually a mess. And so actually making the kitchen a space where I want to be, and sometimes that means I have to clean, and sometimes that means putting on music, and sometimes that means saying, what, dinner's not going to be exactly at 7.
Right.
It might be at 7:50, and you're not going to starve children.
Yes, very important.
Or you're not going to starve Derrick.
Right. For me.
So I'm going to create the space and say, there are things that I need to do to tend to myself in this space, and that's not something that comes naturally to me. And so I have to be pretty intentional.
Right. And I'm kind of that same way related to the idea of pace. I have to slow myself down because that is that rush to people are hungry and you feel you need to provide for them, or you're hungry and you're just like eating it as you're making it. But I learned that new pace from my husband, who is brilliant because he preps everything ahead of time.
It's one of those guys.
But it is like, here, I've got a little time. I'm going to chop some onions and I'm going to put them in the refrigerator. So when it is time, I'm not going to feel rushed. He has to create it. That's what I mean. Like, he has to make it a sacred place. And I think, and also the book has these great opportunities to be mindful again about the source of the food, the hands that brought it from the fields to us. And that's just a beautiful thing that I know I'm going to institute in my regular cooking practice, cooking prayer practice.
Yeah.
Then the other part of that question is I'm asking people, how do they find or recognize or make room for the grace in their life that goes deeper, helps them go deeper?
That's a hard one for me. I am daily becoming aware of my perfectionism and realizing how many things that I have in my life stopped doing or didn't even start doing because I didn't think I could do them perfectly. And so part of this for me has been doing things that I don't do well. And cooking is a great space for that. Trying new recipes and jumping into styles of cooking that you might not be familiar with, but being able to like give yourself a space to say, wow, that wasn't perfect. It's okay, and like it's still good enough. I'm going to recognize that no one around me expects perfection. I'm the one expecting perfection from myself. And that piece of grace has also just been something that I admit I am struggling. This is being gracious to myself and recognizing grace in my world is not something that comes naturally to me. And so, but one of the things that I am beginning to learn is that I am pretty good at extending grace to other people. And sometimes I have to begin to say, Derrick, I need you to treat Derrick like someone that you love.
Excellent.